I can't even pretend to be the sworn enemy of lying pomposity, smugness, and groupthink that Tucker Carlson is. But I, Mel McGinnis, will think clearly, reason soundly, and judge fairly in regard to religion and politics. As inflation increases, gas prices rise, the price of groceries explodes, crime skyrockets, the border crisis worsens, fentanyl deaths, especially among the young, drastically increase. The bullies of tolerance, I'm sure, applauded the vice president for announcing her preferred pronouns. As we're being told, recession now means something other than what it was. Exactly with what's been done with the definition of marriage. Except the bullies are back. They're back at it, assaulting marriage again by trying to codify it as federal law. They can't tolerate traditional, God-ordained marriage. So they want it changed. The opposite sex arrangement is too traditional. But isn't a couple a tradition too? Why not a throuple? What's so special about the number 2? It's very intolerant to numbers other than 2. If marriage is for 2 and only 2, how is that consistent with diversity, equity, and inclusion for people who want marital arrangements with more than 2, and to those who don't identify as homosexual or heterosexual? Aren't there bisexuals who would prefer 2 partners than just 1? What about trisexuals, polysexuals, pansexuals, pedosexuals, necrosexuals, or whatever sexuals? Or is diversity just Orwellian language for conformity? Inclusion, code for exclusion, and equity, code for partiality. Aren't the bullies of tolerance today's authoritarians? Bullies of tolerance frown on and suppress questions, challenges, and other points of view. They only allow acceptable speech, not free speech. Any speech not in agreement with their speech is deemed hate speech. Bullies of tolerance aren't about openness, but control. They usurp what belongs to God alone, as in the definition of marriage. If the bullies of tolerance define it, it means man, not God, controls it. However, if man is absolutely in charge of the definition, what definition is absolutely off the table? It's up for grabs, depending on the man with the most power at the time. It just becomes a game of depraved human power rather than the rule of divine law. Standing up to bullies of tolerance is met with caustic judgments and vitriolic accusations of racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe, and of course, Nazi. As with marriage, the bullies make up their own definition of tolerance. It's not enough to let them have their say and hear them out. You must approve and submit to their point of view in order to be considered tolerant. Otherwise, you're an intolerant hater. In a hypocritical hypocritical spirit of phony tolerance, the bullies of tolerance shove truth aside and only make way for their man-conceived version of marriage. Quote, there can be no doubt whatsoever that all the troubles of the church today and most of the troubles in the world are due to the departure of the authority of the Bible. That was said by the great preacher in England in the last century, Martin Lloyd-Jones. It is about authority. Who has it? Under whose authority are we? Well, unlike Tony Kornheiser of Pardon the Interruption, I cannot promise you that I'll do better the next time.